Come on in, guys. C Love and I are getting a little bit of something warm to drink. We suggest that you do the same. Get yourself something warm to drink and join us in Big Mama's Kitchen. We're going to have lots of conversation tonight, open, and we're going to be talking about several different topics. Anyway, we'll join you guys in just a couple of minutes. Get you something warm to drink and pull up a chair. Can you feel that energy, guys? That great awakening is happening. We're finding our soul tribe, connecting with like-minded, focused on keeping that high love vibration. Unafraid, no fear, nothing but love, baby. Big Mama energy is definitely returning.
All this just
We pop on in here. Welcome, everyone. My co-host will be joining us today and every Saturday we're going to have kind of like open conversation every Saturday, 7 to 9. And we welcome you guys to join us every single time. Let me turn this music down. Talk to them, C Love. I'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome. Namaste. How are you doing? How's it going on this wonderful Saturday? I am doing great. Had a wonderful day. It's love in the house.
Absolutely.
Love is in the house.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, C Love. Guess who we got in the house today?
Infinite, yes. So nice.
Oh, awesome. So glad so happy that you joined us, Miss Beautiful Infinite Light. Your spirit, the first time I saw your channel, Kimmy messaged me and she says, you have to hear her.
Yeah.
And I listened to your channel and I just fell in love with you, my sister.
It's what a wonderful surprise to see you tonight.
It's so good to be here. I finally got the notification in time.
Awesome. Yeah,
Awesome.
I remember my experience finding out about you was you came up in my feed for some reason, but you were talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire. And like that's one of my favorite groups of all time. And so I could definitely relate to that. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Now I understand that you're an XJW too, Infinite Light?
Yes.
Okay. I am too, sort of born in. started
And
going
so
to the
am
Kingdom
I.
Hall when I was 3, so it's all I knew. It's all I
Yeah.
knew. Was Jehovah, and
Yes.
always knew since childhood. It never set right in my core. I would sit in the Kingdom Hall, Infinite Light, and I'm watching the brothers and sisters nodding and dabbing their tears, and I'm like, I must be a goat in a hole full of congregation of sheep because I don't belong here.
Even at that age, huh?
I
Yeah.
totally can
Even at that
understand.
age, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
very, very young.
And for
I
but
can
the
remember maybe
indoctrination,
2 or 3 years old. Um, sitting
Three.
like in family studies, and I would pose questions to my parents that they could not answer. And I would try and reason with them, and it's like almost like you're in a twilight zone because you can't understand how these grown-ups can't be on the same thought process with you
They can't answer your questions.
absolutely.
or even think like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
Wow.
also have the feeling since childhood that you didn't belong here?
Oh, I knew. I was
I knew
even,
something.
I'm getting feedback or something now. That's weird.
Are you really?
Yeah.
No, let's just hold on one second. Let me check my phone. I can turn that off.
Yeah.
We had an issue last week too.
Yeah. And Infinite Light, I live in the middle of an old growth forest, about 500 acres in the middle of an old growth forest. So my reception is kind of wonky a little bit. I live almost off grid, on the
Okay.
outskirts of us of Springfield,
Because it's
Missouri.
like I'm getting multiple conversations at once.
Oh, okay. So we're going to have to kind of break it uh, to make sure that you
Take
can
me
hear
down and
everything.
the two, yeah, take me down maybe. Let's see what happens.
I can hear Sea Love, I think.
Testing, 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 testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
That's
I
much
hear
better.
you, see love. I hear you.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing.
I
Let's
echo maybe like 10 seconds later. That's what's going on. About 10 seconds later, like I hear you, and then I hear everything again 10 seconds later.
the same conversation. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's got to be confusing
And I can process it. It's
because you're a
just
star
interesting.
seed, you're a star child. You can do everything. Yeah. But anyway, let me again. Um, I live in the middle of the forest, so my signal is a little bit off because of all the trees. You got that? So is this better talking together like this without sea love? No, it must be me then. I'm going to try one thing. Hold
It's
on.
still doing it.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to try something and see if that will do it. I'm going to turn my Bluetooth off because sometimes. Okay.
I think that did it.
Okay, but there's still a delay.
There's a little delay still, yeah. Can you
Okay,
hear it?
yeah. I hear you, So what I'm going to have to do is speak, and just wait a few seconds for it to transmit to you. Did you hear what I just said? Oh, there's C Love again. Hang on. Let's try it again. Add to stream. Yeah, we just kind of started this podcast thing right now, so we're trying to work out the kinks with it right now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I hear you perfect.
I can hear everyone. Like I said, it's just like 10 seconds later, it doubles.
Okay.
I'm wondering. We appreciate your patience on this.
We do. Thank you.
I don't see any issues, Monica. I don't see any issues.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing. I don't see anything here. I turned off my Bluetooth because sometimes that causes a problem for me. So I turned that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not figuring out what the delay is though. But we'll try and work through it.
Right. That's what I was just gonna say. We can
Absolutely. We want to hear more about you.
Strange me.
No.
Wonderful,
love it.
weird, strange, amazing,
It's okay.
beautiful.
Yes.
You know what?
spirit being that you are.
So basically, like I said, I was born in, my parents met in Puerto Rico at an international convention.
Oh wow.
So once they married, I have an older brother, and then there's me. And then I have a half brother from my father before he was a witness, but that's a different story.
Okay.
But yeah, I actually was raised in the country. Lots of forests, fields, ponds.
Wow.
Ooh.
So I was different. Like I said, I would be the little girl barefoot with almost nothing on, running through the forest. I mean, I was a free spirit,
Wonderful.
very much so. But I
And
needed,
it sounds like you just naturally gravitated to nature.
yeah,
You naturally wanted to ground.
yeah. And animals, what my parents would consider strays, would always come to the house. I would take care of them. And there's one particular incident that my father, when he did talk to me, would always mention is there was like a hollowed out tree, and there was a raccoon in there with her baby. And I went up to the tree and I was literally looking at the babies and the mother raccoon. And she did not bother me whatsoever.
Really?
As soon as my father started approaching, the mother got extremely violent and defensive to the point where he told me to move. But he did not understand why she let me near her babies. And as soon as she seen him, and he was quite far off still, she focused her attention to him. She still didn't bother me, but he remembers that clear as day.
Wow.
Wow.
Like my parents tell me a lot of things, but I'm thinking to myself, they probably knew something was different with me, but they didn't know how to handle me. And now looking back, I know they didn't.
That your energy, there's just something about you. Absolutely.
The problem with witness parents is if you don't fit the mold of being a perfect witness child, you're punished.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even my questions, I don't talk about that in my videos, but I was corporally punished for the silliest of things, badly too, very badly. Like, and it
Yep.
stopped when I was in middle school because then we had to change for gym class. And the marks
Oh,
on my body would be apparent. And obviously, they would probably report my parents. That's how bad it
wow.
was.
Right.
And
But
I'm
even
glad
as a
that
child going through that, I process things differently.
Yeah.
So whereas most people would feel traumatized and victimized, I didn't. I looked past that at the being who could do that to a child. Like what they had to be going through internally to be able to commit that type of thing to cause hurt and harm to someone else. Because basically what beings do who are in pain themselves, they project that to others.
yes.
And not to bring up what people know as Jehovah, but that's the situation as well. And that's why, as difficult as it is for people to understand, I still have that love for him because I understand what's underneath it. I'm not saying he's good and it's, overlook it, but just like with my 3D father, I could overlook the actual actions to go beneath the actual inner being.
Absolutely.
So,
And me
yeah,
growing up, I also grew up in a very physically, emotionally, and verbally abusive family as well. My father was an elder, and the whole way to the Kingdom Hall, it was filth foul, cussing, 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 cussing. And when we get to the Kingdom Hall, hello, brother, hello, sister, all the beautiful little children, hello. Yeah, it was like that. Yeah.
I can understand because the dynamics in my family, the household between my mother and father, but they would go to the Kingdom Hall and be like, everything is perfect, everything is fine.
Yeah.
And as soon as we left and they were both in the car, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So for
And that does something to you. It does something to you.
it
Yeah. It
does.
did for me.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah. It's a trauma. It's definitely a trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I even understood, like I said, my mother. I mean, here she is in this position where I'm watching my father treat her a certain way, but we're going to these kingdom halls that are literally enabling this behavior from a masculine. They're saying that the feminine is this. She is supposed to be your subordinate
Yeah.
and whatnot. And you're the head of the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is bizarre. I must literally be in the twilight zone because here is this woman who is literally taking care of you
Yeah.
and you're treating her like this. You
Yeah.
came from a woman and you're treating her like this. If it wasn't for a woman, number one, bringing you into this world, number two, sustaining you once you were in this world for however many months you were breastfed. How are you going to have this type of attitude toward a woman? Because without the woman, you would not be here. Period.
How old were you when you left the Kingdom Hall?
When I disassociated,
Yeah.
I was 42.
Okay.
Wow.
So how many years ago was that? You look like you're like 25.
12.
I'm not. So it wasn't long ago. It was see, now I have to think. It wasn't long ago. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Wow.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wonderful.
And the thing that kept me tied to it was the family relationship.
Okay.
So
Shunning.
mother, father, both sides, witnesses. The majority are witnesses. So aunts, uncles, cousins, my brother, my sister-in-law, my niece, nephews, and I was very close to them, even though they are in other states, like very close to all of these. I have
Mm.
family in Europe. I would fly and see them, they're witnesses. So I knew that even though I did not agree with any of the teachings, that if I was to voice what I thought, number one, I'm a positive. Number two, I would lose my whole social structure.
Hmm. And that can be hard.
Right. Because I also have two children. They're older,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That can be really hard when that's all you have, you know. I I guess I was a rebel.
Yeah, I thought that was all I had.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, there's a great apostate army out here.
Yeah, that's probably another story, like how I awakened. It was not slow. It was like they loaded me into a cannon and shot me through the air.
How? Tell us how.
Please share if you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay, so basically, I had went on a trip to Thailand, and there's no Christianity, nothing like that. So traditionally, when we would normally travel, even in other countries, even if we didn't know the language, we would go to kingdom halls, to associate with the worldwide brotherhood. But in Thailand, there were no kingdom halls like that. So I literally, the environment, the people, everything, there was something about it that was very familiar for me. And instead of being like the tourist that and going and doing things,
Yeah, yeah.
because this was the second time I had went in like a year. I went before, but I was doing me, being a mother, being a wife, and all this stuff. I wasn't relaxed even on that trip. The second time I went, I absorbed the environment, the feeling, the energy of the place. And it was one of those days where, because we rented like a bungalow, a home, I was by myself with, once again, I call it the rental cat because as soon as we checked into the bungalow, this cat appeared and it literally stayed there on the front porch and also on the front mat. Um, so I was sitting outside on the front porch with the cat next to me, just petting it. And I remember all of a sudden just feeling like I am literally living a lie. What am I doing with my life?
Really? Wow.
Really? Just, and I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do to change it? So that was the start of it. But I still wasn't awake, but it was that. It was that thought process in my hand. That's the way it started. So I
Beautiful.
went home and
Beautiful.
everything. I kind of assessed my life situation, this, that, the other thing. And okay, so this is a little personal, but it was a few months, and it was in June of, I believe, 2020. I was doing everything like I normally do. um, and my husband at the time was just not treating me well. But that was kind of normal for me. I didn't think much of it because it was never anything physical, but it was just like I was there. I was just there. I was convenient to have around. That's it.
Wow.
And I'm even talking intimacy, all that, that just almost was non-existent. I
Wow.
literally was just this figure
Yeah.
that was a business partner. I made very good business decisions, investments, that type of thing. Anything I wanted to happen would happen. So he was literally taken care of. Um, but I remember I felt just like I was being used. That's it. And the behaviors that he was exhibiting started to spill over to the children.
Yeah.
And even they started to say something to me.
Yeah.
And at the time, I even said something to his mother about it. And we talked, my mother-in-law and me.
Hmm.
And so I took the pets, I took the children, and I went to my brother's, who, like I said, is also a Whitman. I went to his house with my kids so they could spend time with their cousin and just take a break from there.
Mhm.
So while I was in Michigan with my brother, once again, I spent a lot of time outside because it was the end of June, early July. It was beautiful. And he has this swing in the backyard that you can lay on that looks up at the trees.
Mhm.
So I was laying there and the sun was coming through the trees. And I remember looking up at the sun through the trees. And it was all of a sudden like, I knew what I had to do. And I said to myself, this is going to be the hardest thing ever.
Yeah. So tell us about how that was for you. How did you manage to get away get away from your like family, or how did that happen?
Um, well, basically, once I got home from Michigan, I came home on July 6th, I remember. Um, I had told my husband at the time, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. And his eyes got really big. What do you mean? What do you mean? I said,
Mhm.
I'm done being everyone else's support system and them living through me because I realized that my parents, even, my role in their life was telling people, no matter who it was, both of my children are in it too. None of them left. It was like I was their trophy. They were living through me because that was their way to have prestige or something. It's hard
Yeah.
to explain, but if you know, you know. Um, and also, I was like, same thing with my husband at the time. I was like, I'm done. And I laid it out. I'm like, this, it wasn't anything that you couldn't refute. I've always taken very good care of him. I went through things myself while I was married and had absolutely no support from him, like
Hmm.
none.
Hmm.
Um, so that was the thing. I was like, I'm done with everything. I'm done. I said, whatever I have to go through, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to live authentically. I'm going to be free to associate and love whoever I want. No one's going to put barriers on me anymore because I literally felt like a caged bird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I made the steps to do that. My ex-husband, well, husband at the time was like, no, you can't do this. No, well, let's work on it. We're going to do this, that. And I said, fine, we can work on it.
Hmm.
But I've told you for 19 years now, about the situation, and it didn't matter because as a witness, I was never going to go anywhere. So what's the incentive to change anything?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, I'm telling you, I'm leaving, and I'm going to do something. We can work on it. We worked on it. He was good for 2 weeks, and then the same old personality came right back.
Yeah.
So this is when you're going to laugh at this. When I woke up to who I was, I would just say everything downloaded like that. I live by the river, a big river. And I was sitting by the river, and I could see in the distance a thunderstorm coming in. It was beautiful to me. And for some reason, I could not leave. Like everyone around me sitting by the river was getting up. They're like, oh, it's a big one. It's going to be this. You can see the lightning coming down as it's moving closer. I stayed there. It was raining on me and everything. And the lightning was intense. So finally, it was my husband at the time who's like, what are you doing? Let's go. You got to go home. The lightning's bad. Da, 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 da. So I came home because I can walk there.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I still could not pull myself away from the storm. And it seemed to just like stay over our house. And I kid you not, one of the sisters had called me and said, can you believe this lightning storm? And I'm looking because she lives nearby. She's like, I'm looking and it literally looks like it's over your house. And I'm like, yeah, I'm watching the lightning right now. And it was. I have a big window in the living room. And I was literally on the back of the couch looking at the lightning, fixated on it. And literally, after that thunderstorm, the very next day, everything just poured in. Who Jehovah was, who source was, what went down, history, who I was throughout literally billions of years, all the way back. Who Jesus was, what he was to me, what he is to some people, who these Greek gods are, who the Norse gods are, who all of these things within days downloaded into me. It was so intense that at times I had to literally just pull away and be by myself to process things. And it wasn't just memories, it was the feelings that went along with it, even pain at times, as I went through everything again. And it wasn't just me. There were things in the exterior environment as well that were going on that even were affecting my children and my ex-husband that they could see. Even with nature, we'd be outside and all of a sudden the crows would come down and they'd start fighting and attacking like birds and kill them right in front of me. And I was so distraught. I remember running to like this bird that's like, yeah, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
And then the really freaky thing is I started to be able to see people through their vessel or their avatar.
Wow.
Awesome. Awesome.
Wow.
It's awesome, but it's not, because it was then that I realized that all of these people
Okay.
I hear you.
Who were closest to me in my life were these low vibrational beings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which my parents, all these people, they were surrounding me to keep me stuck.
Absolutely. I call them extras, background people.
I'm emotional. I get emotional. But that's the thing. It was like the glasses, the scales were ripped off of my eyes to the nth degree. Um, and like I said, we call him an ex now for a reason. He turned into something that before I thought was mildly bad, and I thought that was bad. What he turned in after the fact, that I woke up and he realized I woke up, was something on another level.
Really? Wow.
He let it all hang out then, huh?
There was no need to keep a mask on. And to tell people, even my own children were telling other people about what he was doing, his behavior, how he was treating me, how he was treating them. And it's like everyone was like, oh, no, that can't be. It's this. And that's typical. And if you look in the world, these energies parade around pretending to be light, and they are dark, really dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
no one believes them because they put on a different face to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like
But
even my own children
we
are
as
telling people
empaths,
about
but,
it,
but we
and
as
they
empaths,
minimize it. Like, y'all are young. They're not young. Like I said, they're older. They're not 4 and 5. My son's like a sophomore in college and stuff. Like, they know what they're talking about. But then you try and gaslight them too, so they sit there and think, wow, what's going on here?
mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was my awakening. It literally took place in a few days. That's why I say I was cannonballed.
Wow. Wow.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
like I said, you can see energies, but at the same time, now the good thing is I can recognize fellow helpers, light workers, earth angels, even past splits of mine, which is kind of strange to me, but it's even stranger to someone who is not awakened, when they can feel the connection to me, but they don't understand it. It literally scares them. So they'll approach me, everything will be good, and then all of a sudden it scares the life out of them and they run off, literally.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. Especially if
And
you
they'll know,
start
they'll be like,
talking.
I feel like I've known you in other lives, and I always end up connecting with you in each lifetime. And I'm like, yeah, very possible. Because that's the thing. I can't tell anyone who they are, really. Because if they're not awake and they don't know who they are, even if I know who they are, I can't tell them. Because it kind of messes with things, timelines, all that, which is another story. Oh,
Do you
but yeah.
remember any of your past lives?
Yeah, I've had a variety of lives. Like, I remember even being, set up and killed by my own splits, or people call them twin flames. But as I divide, I get smaller and smaller. So if you see me in person right now, I'm very little. But at first, I was very big, giant,
Wow.
I remember that. Trees, everything. The earth doesn't look like it originally was. And people still, I
There's
can still
mentions
find the
of
beauty in it, but it doesn't look like it was.
well, there's stories about at one time we were all giants.
Mhm.
We were all giants, and there were like grapes the size of melons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So why would there be grapes the size of melons to feed them big people?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you teach? Do you do any coaching or have any classes or anything?
No,
No.
I just, whoever reaches out to me and needs to talk or whatever, I deal with them one-on-one.
Okay.
And your messages, that when I listen to you, it it just touches my heart. It's like you're speaking directly to that heart space, and I feel it. Yeah.
Because it's authentic. You're getting me, all of me. And even some of me I hold back because most people aren't used to someone they view as human being so emotional. And so many people, especially XJWs, are used to an alternate form of love.
Yeah.
So they hear, I love you. That's not love what they think is love.
No.
So when I say, I love you, I truly do. I'm here because I love everyone. And I do mean everyone. I don't care who you are. To me, because of who I connect to, everyone I come in contact with, whether it's like this or in the grocery stores or whatever, I have a maternal protection and affection toward them. So I look at everyone as my sons and daughters. I know.
You are that true Big Mama energy.
Absolutely.
True Big Mama
And I
energy.
think we
And I
all
just want
have
to
that.
nurture and take care of people. I want to, if I can prevent them from going through things alone or letting them know they matter, they're loved. They truly are, no matter who they are. I don't care who has beat you down, who has said you're not good enough. The source, they are
True.
precious. They are literally like kids, like children that she loves and wants to protect. So if you know me one-on-one, that's what you're going to get.
Mhm.
I
Absolutely.
don't hold back either. I will
Absolutely.
go without to make sure someone has what they need.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
I feel you. I feel you.
We will
Absolutely.
nurture you and love you and be compassionate. But when you need some of that what I want to call it, divine justice, or yeah, you need some talking to, darling. Come in, Mom, Big Mama's kitchen. We need to
Exactly.
talk.
And they can tell me anything. I'm not
Yes.
going to run. But sometimes people are so surprised that I don't run when they tell me really, really horrible things that they they feel like, what is this? This can't be a real person. There's this got to be a setup. And it's like, no, it's not. You're loved. You
Most
are not the person that you were in the past based on your past action. And that is true divine love. You are no longer that person because you stopped that. You don't do that anymore.
Absolutely. Yes,
So
whatever you want to call him, that divine being, that ascended one, whatever you want to call him, he told us that when he met the woman at the well. He says, I know what you did. You don't have, I already know you had more than one husband. You had a whole bunch of husbands. Don't do that no more. I love you, basically. Just don't do it no more, and keep it moving. Yeah.
exactly. And that's why he also said, do not judge.
Absolutely.
How can you truly love someone when you're busy judging them? Can you truly love them?
unconditional love.
Exactly. Which has been conditioned into people that that's a bad thing. That means you're weak because you love unconditionally. No, it takes strength to do that.
Ooh, yeah.
It takes weakness to love with conditions.
Wow.
It takes it all.
Think about it. If Source can still have love for the one that literally slandered, stabbed her in the back, tried to literally diffuse her can still have love. That is the true meaning of loving your enemy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
And to just want and hope that eventually the person will understand what love is once again in order to come to the light. But if you're constantly beating them down, telling them how bad they've been, what they've always done wrong, all of these things, how can that person feel like they're worthy of love? And that is the flaw, even with Jehovah's Witnesses and their judicial committees and their disfellowshipping and their reproving and their marking. It is the opposite of love. And they've twisted it to say it's
horrible.
loving. Now you understand why these individuals don't have a clue what true love is. And not just here, but on a worldwide level.
Yes.
Worldwide. Absolutely.
So that's why me, as well as everyone else who hopefully can understand that concept of true divine unconditional love from source, which is bestowed upon all beings. Once they understand that, they can bestow it upon others. And that is what is going to change the whole vibration of this planet.
Yes.
And that's what we're trying to do. We are doing it as the collective. We're bringing up that vibration, keeping that vibration high, keeping it in that heart space.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that is really interesting is that we will be able to observe the shift in the love energy in religions as time progresses, as the energy, the love energy permeates the hearts, of the awakening. We can notice it. I can notice it somewhat now. I can feel a shift in the energy and of people, just going to the supermarket now. It's not as, heavy.
Right.
People are more kinder, I feel like now. I don't know if it's because of it is because of them awakening and noticing, hey, something's not right.
Yeah. And the energies are coming in. I mean, the CMEs coming in, that's the, what did you call it? Earth facing CMEs. We have, there's 8 to 10 huge sunspots on the sun now. And it's coming earth facing now. So we're going to be bombarded with this energy that's coming down. A lot of people don't understand, why I'm feeling kind of achy. Where are these headaches? What's going on? You feel this energy. It's a physical thing that's occurring.
Yeah, those 9 strands, those who have the 9-strand DNA, that's what's going to be activated.
So that's what that's why I'm having all these pains.
You basically, what you're going to notice is you're going to be very tired, very tired.
Yes.
You're going to have headaches, but not bad. They're going to be like slight, weird, annoying ones. Almost feels like pressure. But you should notice yourself feeling internally younger, and as well as your skin and stuff rejuvenating. Almost like an aging backwards.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of the research that I've done saying that what's happening as these energies come in, it's connecting, like you said, that 5-strand DNA again, and our bodies we're going to be activated of how we're supposed to be. We will be able to self-heal. We'll be able to heal ourselves, heal others. We'll do miraculous things
Right.
as we come back online.
Yes. Because like I said, hopefully, just like it was in the past before people had all of these traumas and karmic debts and everything else, you could energetically connect to everyone, even mentally, because there was nothing you needed to hide. There was no shame, there was no guilt, there was no anything. So for us in the very, very beginning, there was no language. There wasn't. There was
Yeah,
no
we spoke
writing.
here,
We communicated like
right
this.
here.
So that's how I communicate even with ones who aren't in the 3D right now. As well as it's more difficult with like my 3D twin, my current one, because we have to vibrate at the same frequency, and that's very hard to do. So
Yeah. So you're current. We're currently in 5D. That's my question. I guess I'm trying to understand myself as it sounds like to me you are in 5D right now, right? You're in 5D.
because dimensions actually are states of consciousness. So people think dimensions are like physical places. So when you say multidimensional being, you can be in different ones at the same time.
Yep.
So that's why even when I was saying like I can process even what's going on with the videoing and the language, but you have different like galaxies, which are physical places. There's a lot, which you can also travel to, but dimensions are a consciousness because even without the physical body, the consciousness always is,
Yeah.
unless the consciousness gets destroyed. But that's not something I need to talk about right now. That's like a later type of thing.
Okay. I would love to hear that.
Wow.
Because people want to know about hell and all this other stuff. And,
Yeah.
My opinion, this is hell.
and it's not like the afterlife is that simple. Like you do, there are what we call lords, and whatnot that are in charge of the light beings after they're basically being deported to the next realm. Not so, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you're constantly, let's say, being sent to Earth to get it right, and you've just chosen over and over and over again to be the most despicable something, there really isn't a need for your consciousness to just keep going. It can be blotted out, but energy can't be destroyed. So that gets recycled. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's not one of those situations where you're going to sit there and be tortured because you were bad forever. But in a way, it is torture to have to come back to a place like Earth, let's say, when it is in a state that is really bad. Let's just say, like, you have, I don't know if I'm going to use Jehovah's Witnesses, but I will. Let's just say no one on Earth was left but the governing body and witnesses. And there's no one, no governments to actually say, okay, you can have freedom of religion, but you can't like murder people or whatever. Now imagine that wasn't in place. So the governing body, anyone who steps out of line and does not stick to what they deem is acceptable, you could be tortured, excommunicated, killed, whatever. You have to, because you have to stay in this realm, continually cycle through the figurative fire over and over and over and over again.
Hmm. Now, do we? I've heard that some of us choose our soul families before we come. Like you just mentioned, we choose the life that we want to live here, or I'm not sure how that works. So we're here just to pay back karmic debt, and stuff that our ancestors did. Um, what is the purpose of keep coming back? And do we have a choice in that?
Yeah, you, for the most part, most have a choice. Some of us don't.
Mm-hmm.
Most have a choice as to the families, because basically that's your challenge. Like, you're going to go through certain things, and you basically break the cycles that your grandmother, your grandfather, your great grandmother, your great 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 grandmother, and all these other ones did not break. Are you going to be the one to do it?
Hmm.
So most have free will. I don't know if you remember when Jesus said, I don't do my own will, but I do the will of the one that sent me.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
for him, there are not parameters in place where you can pretty much stray from what you're here to do, period. And basically your mission has to be accomplished. And it's one of the challenges, because you can't know up to a certain point why you're there and what you're doing, because you are basically in a challenge. And if you knew why you were there and you had to overcome hurdles, it would be an unfair advantage. So until you've literally passed all the tests, you're not allowed to connect to your higher self and have all your previous memories and everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because basically the very ones, the rebels, the dark forces, will say, well, that's an unfair advantage because they knew I was here. They knew they had to do this. And they had this, that, and this information to know who was what. And that's the only reason they succeeded. Not because they were, a pure light being or a good person or whatever you want to call it. They knew ahead of time what they had to do, except the only thing I knew is that I was different from everyone around me. And even with what I was dealing with, would I still stay true to myself, which is being honest, loving, taking care of animals, unconditionally loving even the people who were abusing me. I did all of that. And then would I stand up for what was right? Number one, loving others and having the courage that once I knew what was going on around me wasn't right, would I have the courage to do what it takes to break free of those chains that were holding me back? And once I was determined to do that and literally made steps concretely that I'm done, I'm leaving all this behind, come what may, that's when I woke up, because I had passed all my tests for prerequisites for me knowing who I was. Basically, my pre meat body existed. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. And I'm sitting here
Even
thinking
now,
you're the
even with
youngest one on the panel tonight, and I think you're the most, how do I put this, most on that path, on that journey. You're further down the road that than we are. And C Love, I think, is just behind you. And I'm the oldest one, and I'm in the back of the line.
Yeah, I just like to share that I had an interesting experience today, and you're the perfect person for me to talk to, I think. Um, can you hear me? Am I delayed? Oh, okay. So I felt the need to be with nature today. I typically, you know, making an effort to get out there and be with nature, ground at least. I know that it's helping me. I feel it. I've been awakened now probably for about a year, I would say. I got the Kundalini rising probably about 6 months now, 6 months ago.
Okay.
So I didn't know what it was. I had to find out what it was. But great, amazing experience. And then today, I've been on my path. I've heard some readings that people have done, and they were amazing readings.
Yeah.
But I haven't shared it with anyone. So I can talk to you that on the side. But today I chose to, and I wanted to tell you this. I was going to wait to tell you this too, Monica. I was staring at the sun today, and I did it out my window because it was so cold. And I just decided, oh, I'm just usually, back in few months ago, I couldn't look into it. It was just too bright. Today I was able to look at it straight on. I just kept staring into it. So today I got these rays coming out, like they were like, just coming at me in my eyes, and they just kept going, going, and going, and I couldn't stop staring at it. So, but I started seeing colors and all this stuff. So it turns out that I believe my pineal was open today,
Wow.
because what happened was, out of the blue, I got this high shrill ringing in my
Ringing.
in my ear. So tell me, please, what is this? What is going on?
Basically, your vibration. Um, I'm sorry. It's not funny. It is funny. It's joy that I'm laughing.
Okay, good.
That's all. Because you're not the first one to tell me. I stared at the sun and then something happened, and I'm like,
okay.
so yeah, it's basically your vibrations rising because energy, sound.
Oh, awesome.
Like a sound bowl, kind of, if you tap it, and the more it frequent those
Yeah.
waves are,
Yeah, yeah.
it makes a different tone. So for you, that ringing is kind of like an adjustment of the vibrations within yourself.
Oh,
It's a good thing.
I'm calling on everybody. Oh my God. I'm like, north, south, east. I need some help. I need some help. What is this ringing? And so finally, I was directed to look at this website where they explained. That's how I got it. I just happened to have my laptop in front of me, and I was able to right away key in this guy that I have been following, who's amazing, and he just broke it down for me. But I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So
When you
thank you
have
for,
things happen like that to you, it's a little bit unnerving especially when you don't really understand or
Right.
understand what's going on. Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
still
When I had,
hearing I'm still hearing a little that same noise that we had last week, where it's like it sounds like they're listening from the phone or doing some stuff, tapping into the line.
on right here, on our live now.
I hear it on my side.
Yeah, every once in a while I hear like a little,
Yeah,
a
tap,
little
tap, tap,
tap.
tap.
Yeah, and I'm not touching it. It's not me.
I'm not touching anything either.
And
Okay, Alexa, are
I've
you
never
listening to
done
us?
this StreamYard thing before, so this is a new platform for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, which platform do you use, Infinite Light?
Hmm? It's basically I've never done live YouTube anythings because
Really?
my schedule's a little weird.
Uh-huh.
But when I do connect with certain people, it's over Skype or Zoom.
Okay, and I haven't tried Skype or Zoom. That's C Love's department. She's gonna have to check that out because I'm
Yeah.
back in the woods as far as technology is concerned. That's not
But I
me.
don't know if it would like stream, obviously with YouTube. I don't know how that works because I've never done a YouTube live. I probably should, but I haven't. But
You
Yeah. I'll
should.
check into that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, forgiveness, like I said, love, all of that is key. Even
I have another question too.
yeah.
So, I must be elevating into 5D, or because when I meditate, how can I tell when I'm meditating? I feel like I am, breaking 5D or something. I don't know, but I've never seen my Akashic records, or now that my pineal is open and all of that. Will that happen now?
So it depends. Everyone is different as far as
Yeah,
accessing Akashic records and whatnot,
yeah.
because your ancestors, believe it or not, help you with that.
Okay.
Ascended masters,
Yeah,
whoever your guides are,
yeah,
um, because everyone has a different mission. And sometimes, how do I say? Basically, when it's time for you, if that's your life path,
okay,
it'll happen when it's supposed to.
okay.
Because you can't just have it anytime if you're not ready for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing certain things from the past, even what happened to you, what you've done, is very disturbing at times. And if you're not ready for it, it could literally make you
Yeah, I
go,
understand.
go.
Yeah,
So you have to be already physically and emotionally and mentally in a certain place before that can happen. If you're not, it could literally be devastating to you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I certainly concur with that because when I had what I call my spiritual awakening, I was sitting in front of the TV watching ancient aliens eating chips and drinking some tea. And all of a sudden, the room turned orange, like a burnt. First, it was bright orange and turned like a burnt orange. And I'm kind of up in age, so I'm like, oh, am I having a stroke? What's going
Mm-hmm.
on? You with me? So, and all of a sudden, things just started getting darker and darker and darker, like I was literally dying. I felt like I was dying, and it scared me so bad. And I started screaming. I couldn't say it from my mouth, but I was screaming from my heart, Jehovah, because I was still there. Jehovah, help me.
Right.
Jehovah, help me. Because we were taught that immediately I thought I was being attacked by demons. And if that happens to you, you're supposed to call on Jehovah. So I'm calling on Jehovah in my heart. And every time I called Jehovah's name, I sunk deeper in the hole. I call his name again, deeper in the hole, deeper in the hole. And in desperation, I said, Jesus, help me. And when I said that, it was instant. I was back. It was weird. It was so weird that, but then instantly my mind thought again, is the demons. And when I had that thought in my head that it was the demons again, everything went black again. So we did this cat and mouse thing, calling on Jehovah again, sinking in the hole, and then calling on Jesus' name again. And then, yeah. And ultimately, I heard a audible voice. Maybe it wasn't audible, but I could hear it. It was just like a knowing. I can't explain it. And the voice said to me, Monica, stop doubting me. stop doubting me. And after that, then I just said, okay, I won't doubt you. And that sort of ignited something within me. I was always on the fence because I always knew in my core that something was wrong with this religion. Something was wrong with Jehovah. I didn't like Jehovah. I said, Jehovah needs some Prozac or something. He needs some counseling. Something wrong with him.
He spazzes.
But it was like a catalyst for me that I needed to search. I wanted to know the truth, the real truth, no matter what the cost. If I'm an Anunnaki hybrid test tube baby, so be it. Whatever it is, I just want the truth of who we are, what are we doing?
You are
what
not
the
an
heck is going
Anunnaki
on?
hybrid.
Say it again.
You're not a hybrid.
I'm a hybrid.
No, she said you're not.
I'm not a hybrid.
Right.
Really? Huh. Well, that's good to know. Yeah. So anyway, it was like a catalyst for me. So I had to search. I felt this. And then too, my father had passed away, and my father was devout Jehovah's Witness to his deathbed. And sitting next to him as he's actively dying, he pleads with me. He says, Monica, he says, stay in the ark. He says, Jehovah's organization is the ark, Monica. Stay in the ark. Don't let me awake in paradise and you're not there. Okay, Daddy. I made a promise to him. Dad, I'm gonna make the truth my own. I'm gonna make the truth my own. So after he passed away, like about 6 months after he passed away, it kept sticking at me. I made this promise to my dad. I made this promise to my dad. But in my gut, I still knew something was wrong with this religion. But I said, okay, my dad was so devout. Maybe I messed up something. I'm not getting it. So I need to study more. I need to pray more. I need to immerse myself to really understand this. So the thing for me was the 607 BCE thing. I never understood that mess. It made no sense to me whatsoever. And I felt like a hypocrite going on the doors, knock, 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 knock. And I'm trying to witness to these people. And I don't believe the mess I'm teaching. I'm trying to tell you, so I went to the elders and I said, I'm having trouble with these certain areas. I need more clarity. Can you help me? Help me to understand this because it's not making any sense to me. Because I said, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't making a mistake. And so I immersed myself in everything. And ultimately, after several months of meeting with the elders and they're pairing me up with the elders' wives so they can help me to understand this. I had separate studies with 2 separate elders' wives. So because I was going to get in, I was going to be that pioneer sister, special pioneer school. That was me. I'm going, and it still didn't make any sense. So what I decided to do is I said, I'm going to do my own research. I'm going to go home and I'm going to research, even though the elders told me you need to go to jw.org and get all your information there. Don't go to any other websites because you're going to find apostate material and basically the demon's going to get you. So stay away from that, sister. So one day I'm sitting there at my computer and I said, I have to know. So I typed in just history of Jehovah's Witnesses. And when the information popped up of all this stuff that I had no clue about, and I'm only talking like 7 or 8 years ago. Beth Seren, I had never heard of that stuff. Never heard of it. All the stuff about Charles Taze Russell being a Mason, didn't know any of that stuff. All this information came up and at first I just burst out crying. It was like, even though that it's not the truth, it was that final pull of that rug that you were right. but it was like my whole world crashed.
Mm.
I was like, whoa, I'm right. This is a bunch of crap. This is a bunch of crap. But then I said, so what is it now? And that kind of started my journey. And of course, I did after going to the elders and talking to the elders and all of that. And they basically took, when I was finding this information out, I was talking to my spiritual sister in the congregation, my sister, not my blood sister, but my spiritual sister, my ride or die. So when I found this information out, I called her and I'm shaking, sister, and I'm telling her all the stuff that I found out. And she, all of a sudden, she was like, well, sister, I got some people over here right now. Let me call you back. So I said, okay. So I'm sitting here trembling, scared. I'm just mind blown about what I've just discovered. So I'm waiting for my sister to call me back. After an hour, she hasn't called me back. So I dialed her phone and it went straight to voicemail. So I went on Facebook Messenger just to say, hey, just a reminder, please call me back. I really need to talk to you. I was blocked already within an hour on Facebook Messenger after sharing what I'm sharing with my sister.
Wow.
And then shortly after that, the elders were like, you need to stop talking about this stuff. You're causing dissension in the congregation and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And it got to a point they basically said, if you don't stop, we're going to have to, what do they call it? A public marking, or put me on, what do you call it? I forgot the name, not disfellowship. What's the other one? Yes, reproved. Yeah. Yeah. And I told him, nah, this is not for me. So I wrote my disassociation letter and told them why and blah, 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 and all that, and sent that to them. And that was over with. And then my neighbor, who was a Jehovah's Witness, lived next door to me. She screamed at me one day, you whore. What you talking about? You talking to me? Because they don't tell what you did. They just said, Sister Monica no longer wants to be considered one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
You're no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses
now. But nobody knows what you did. So she thought that I was after her husband. And we lived next door to each other for 3 years. Did you always have that in your mind? It was just crazy.
You never know what people were thinking.
Yeah, it's understandable, because once you leave, like I said, the energies come out of these people.
Yes. Yes. And my favorite elder, I went to Walmart one day after they had announced the disfellowshipping and all that. And my favorite elder, I could talk to him. He wasn't one of he still tried to, goad me and go into that direction as far as the religion is concerned. But I felt a connection with this particular elder. Anyway, I was in Walmart and he came up one aisle at the head of the aisle, and I was like in the middle of the aisle. The brother turned his cart so hard, he was on 2 wheels, like he had saw a ghost. He couldn't talk to me, couldn't speak to me. It was like he was frightened of me.
Mm-hmm. That's
really
exactly
sad.
what happened.
Yeah.
It's weird because they're literally frightened of you. The fear is unreal. And it's like, why?
Yeah. I was called an apostate demon.
Yeah. I mean, believe me, I know. Yep. I mean, like I said, my family, nothing. I try to be peaceful because that's what I try and do with everyone, and show concern, even though I know what they are. I know exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Even like I said with my ex, he hasn't really talked to me in I don't even know how long. Like it's been a very long time. But I will text now and then, thanking him for doing stuff for my daughter and just being somewhat light, trying to show that I have no resentment towards you whatsoever. I understand that I have to put up boundaries to keep myself spiritually healthy. I still wish for healing for him, even after everything he's done. And I mean, I was in some circumstances after the fact that no human should be able to treat another human like that. You know, like you are physically incapable because of a surgery that went wrong of basically doing things to yourself, and the person sits there and literally because you can't move, you're bedridden, harasses you and slings all of these, just basically tries to break you down and degrade you when you're at your lowest. Doesn't care if you eat, drink, or anything. Let you suffer. And I'm not making this stuff up. And your kids are watching this go on. And I'm still, even after everything, and that's just a little bit, hoping that he finds peace and healing within himself so he can be free of these energies that have control over him.
Absolutely.
Because as I told you before, just like with my father, with my mother, these people treat other people like that because they themselves are internally suffering.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
they don't
So,
understand this, that I am not wishing for their demise or anything. I truly want them to be healed, to
yeah,
have true peace that only unconditional love can bring. Not money, not power, not prestige, none of that. But once again, and this is with so many people, including the governing body, including witnesses and religious people in the whole, that pride and arrogance and ego gets in the way of them truly tapping into true divine love and peace. You have to understand that when you're telling people they have the only true religion on earth, that automatically gives them an ego.
Absolutely.
And if you have an ego, you're automatically going to judge and look down on others. It's natural.
Yep. And that's exactly the way it was.
yeah.
You
I
literally condition them to do that.
Yeah.
And here's a kicker for witnesses. Basically, these bodies they bring into the organization, this may be a little bit creepy, but these vessels that they bring into this cult, this demonic cult, literally have to be broken down and have fear, guilt, or shame in order to be inhabited by these low vibrational energies. So what is the first thing that they do when someone's interested? They have to tell you you're not acceptable and you're not good enough.
You got to clean up your life. You got to do
So they
this.
create a
do
crack,
that.
and then they create a crack further and further and further by letting you know how far from being acceptable to this so-called God Jehovah you are. And because of that, you become low vibrational, and these low vibrational energies can then take that vessel over and control it. And they don't even realize that they're possessed. That's literally what they are. And that's why so many ex-JWs, when you're trying to reach out to JWs and wake them up, it's almost futile
Yes.
because they are possessed. And until they can heal those cracks or their house, I did a video about that. Until they can heal that and have that self-love for themselves and realize, no, I don't have to have fear. I don't have to have shame. I don't have to have guilt. They're going to continue to be possessed. And that's why you can give them the most pertinent, relevant information right in their face, and they're not going to see it. They're literally blinded. And that's how Jesus was talking about. Many people think it was a miracle. That's what it meant. He made the blind see. And that's also why these energies run from people that are high vibrational, like you guys. When you see a witness, because they know that love energy that's emanating off of you can literally break that spell, that possession.
So they run away?
Yes. They don't want to face you. I went to a funeral actually of a cousin, and my brother and his wife were there just briefly. But go figure, they were right behind me because we have to sign like the book, saying you were there. And as I turn around, I'm like, hello, hi. As soon as the service part was over, because it was in a home, it wasn't in a church or anything, so they could go, But there was a reception in the hall across because everything was connected. They left right after the service. They didn't stay for the family gathering afterward. They just ran like the wind. And I was like,
Did they know you did they know you or any? They didn't know you?
hmm,
They
that's my
didn't.
brother, my like fleshly brother.
Oh, your fan. Yeah, your okay, got it.
Yeah, and just ran.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I only have one sister, one
And I
fleshly
still will
sister.
drop my children off at my parents' home. And they're in Florida. I still will drop my children off at my brother's house so they can play with their cousins and whatnot. And literally, they don't come out the house. They avoid me. Like if they get too close in the vicinity of me, something's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're gonna spontaneously combust or something, or I'm gonna have some type of psychic energy that engulfs them and takes them over. It's literally crazy
Yeah.
how conditioned the governing body has made them of what they deem
Yes.
as apostates. And apostates, most of them are going to be the most loving, caring, authentically loving individuals they will ever come in contact with.
Exactly.
That
Yes.
is why the governing body doesn't want them to be able to have or experience our energy.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because they will know we're not miserable, we're not crazy, we're not demonic, we're free.
Exactly.
And that is where the truth will set you free, truly.
Exactly.
Nothing like it.
Now let me ask you this. Do you think that they are the witnesses, the Jehovah's Witness organization is involved in what's happening in the world today? Are they connected behind the scenes?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, so much. I can't even, if you think about all of these different organizations, even secret ones, that have done various experiments on the best way to control humans mentally, take them over and control them. Think about how well this cult has done with its members. Now,
Lots
if
of
you're
blood
seeing what
sacrifice
methods
too.
work the best,
I mean, if you really look at it, the blood sacrifice with the whole blood issue, they're sacrificing
yes,
their members, in the name of Jehovah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
And
Yep.
the just
And
the
even
prevalent
people.
Pedophilia.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they
it's
know
truly
that a lot
demonic.
of the actions that they approve will lead to people taking their lives, which is also blood sacrifice. And that
And I
way,
sat with
they're
someone
legal
who
ones.
was suicidal.
Exactly.
That it was a family member. Family member was disfellowshipped. Family member is known to have mental health issues, bipolar disorder. So he goes the highs and lows. And I was pulled into in an elders meeting to tell me, to remind me I understand this is a close family member, but He has turned his back on Jehovah. And if you have any interaction with him at all, it's like slapping Jehovah in the face. So I was told, hands off, don't contact him, no contact with him whatsoever. About a month later, this person has slit both of his wrists. Actually, before this happened, I call the elders and I say, he's slipping. I'm not talking to him, but I see his demise. He's spiraling down. The shepherds need to go to the sick. He's sick. Go help him. Never once did they go check on him. Never once. So I'm sitting with him, both of his wrists split, bleeding out. Yeah. Because of this stupid religion.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't care.
I know.
Yeah.
No. But that's my point. They literally have people under such strong mind control that they're willing to give up their lives for something. It's I have no words for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I did the video on the ultimate sacrifice, because a lot of these people will, at the governing body's word, do the stupidest things to so-called please Jehovah. They
Yeah.
already are. They're already doing it.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
already doing it.
Yeah.
Even with this fellowshipping, you can cause a parent and a child and all of these ones to mentally kill their parent, their children, whatever.
Yeah.
So they behave like they do not exist. They are dead.
Yes. That
That
what
is
my
some
sister was
power
told to
right
treat
there.
us as we were spiritually dead. Think of us as dead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing certainly loving about that at all.
No.
Not at
But
all.
once again, they twist what's bad into something good and what's good into bad.
Absolutely.
Now you confuse them enough, they don't know up from down, love from hate. What they're doing is hate. It's not love in any form.
Absolutely.
Like I said, there were so many people, and this is where I observed, because once I was awake at this point, and I'm still doing it, I just observed. These people who were previously in my life, who I was there for on the drop of a dime, would get on a plane, fly there for a day or two to help out, do whatever I could, drive there to help out, do whatever I could. They knew exactly what was going on. They knew how I was being treated. The children were saying things. They knew. They knew about my surgery that went wrong. And it was like, oh, we're sorry that happened, but there's nothing we can do because of the situation. I'm like, okay. That's love. But you say you love me, you're showing your true face. But I know what it is. But at the same time, I love you, like I said, but I can't overlook some certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Certainly. But yet you're the bad guy, right? You're
Exactly.
the bad guy.
That's
And
always
I
the
even
case.
have like a text from my mom saying, "You've always been a loving, upstanding daughter." All that, I mean, literally praising me. And then at the end of the praises, but I have to do what I have to do.
Wow. Now you mentioned that you had 2 children.
Mhm.
Did they stay in the organization or did they say peace out?
Like you were saying about, how you preaching to people when you don't believe it yourself. That was me from like a little girl.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I even since I became a publisher, I was not a good publisher. I did not have high hours ever. Like I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, My children, the furthest they went was joining the theocratic ministry school because I didn't feel that was a bad thing because they learned public speaking, but they never became publishers. I never forced baptism on them whatsoever. I didn't even do family worship with them.
Okay. You were a wonderful mother.
And, my daughter had like friends from school that were worldly, and I would go to like the trampoline parks and amusement parks and stuff with them and whatnot to a point. But even those outings, you have to worry about other witnesses seeing you and reporting you, you know.
Yeah. So they can call, ooh, I saw. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was, and then once I disassociated, it was like a load was lifted off of them because they no longer had to perform, as I call it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the grandparents especially was a big source of pressure for them because my parents would be like, you should be a publisher, you should be baptized, you should be this, you should be that, you should, and it's like, you don't have to do any of that. They're either going to love you for who you are, or it is what it is.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And if they
Yeah.
can't have a normal relationship with you without mentioning Jehovah and proselytizing, then that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 3 kids, and my eldest at first that was the one that was kept going after I stopped, but only a short time, for about 6 months. And then after that, he was done with it too. And then my second son really got into it. He was at the bus stop, 6 o'clock in the morning, bus stop witnessing. And then they'd meet at the Kingdom Hall at 9 and for the service meeting, and he'd be out all day long. All day long. He was so devoted for a while, until he started asking questions too. Right about the time I was awakening, he started awakening too. Yeah. And he left it. And my youngest daughter, she went, I'm not fooling with that mess at all. Y'all crazy.
That's good.
Yeah. So none of my kids, and I'm happy for that, none of them, it stuck with them. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you guys, it was about your family. For me, I came in, and my mother and father were separated, raised by my mom, and she didn't instill religion in us at all. She didn't make it a thing for us. And not until we would, I go to my grandparents' house, and my grandmother was studying, and so that's how I kind of, heard about it, and it sounded good to me as a young girl, hearing about the great teacher, and living on paradise, living in paradise earth, and playing with the animals. All that was, exciting for me, and decided to get baptized at the age of 15. Had a study at 14, my own study. Got baptized at 15 because they were making sure that they were talking about the end of the world, 1975. So I got baptized in 1975.
Wow.
And got married. So that was 10th grade. I got married at the soon after I graduated high school. I was 18, I was just turning 18, going on.
Wow.
Yeah, going on 19. But back then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
my husband at the time, he had to get married. He was 21. If I was 19, just turning 19, he was 21, and we had to get married because he was so hot. You know what I mean?
And that's why most of the young couples get married, because they're all horny toads.
Horny. He was just horny. He was so horny. And but when I tell you, on one hand, I thought that I had found the love that I was looking for. I had always been looking for love and wanting to understand what true love was. It was the worst experience of love. I mean, I met his family. We were all at a gathering and everybody's laughing and having fun. And then eventually, as after we got married and I got into knowing their family, I had one terrible, horrible experience after another. Terrible experience, one after another. It was the worst. And I kept saying to myself, is this true religion? Is this what this is supposed to be about? What is this supposed to be like this? I'm just looking for love and happiness, joy. I'll tell you, when I sat down, when my husband proposed to me, he proposed to me. They made it a special occasion for the family. So it's the mom, the dad, sisters, brothers, just family coming in. Mom made a great meal and wanted to have this nice surprise for me.
Mhm.
We're sitting there and we're eating, we're laughing, and his sister, I never knew his sister had this. She just had this thing about me. She didn't like me. And so when he pulled the ring out and proposed to me, and I said yes, she jumped up and ran out of the house screaming and yelling. I'll never
Oh,
forget that.
wow.
She was pissed. Like I said, I had no clue that she was feeling like this about me. And then it turns out that she didn't like me. She had some other sisters in mind for her brother. That was what
Oh,
the whole thing. That's what it was about.
wow.
She had sisters in mind for him, and he married me. So turns out we've been divorced now for many years, and he's now married to one of the sisters she wanted him to marry.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
But
like I said, I even say to I wish anyone who parted well for me, including, the one. It's like learn from the past, and I wish you well. And you learn from the past and lessons and whatnot. Like,
exactly. That's how I feel. I bless you. You move. Keep it moving. I'm good. You know what I mean? I
right.
am good. And but it was again one of those things where you knew something wasn't right, but because of my heart and who I am, I was always, I would try my best to, I wasn't the type that was going to go at him and want to argue and fuss and fight. None of that.
Exactly.
It was like, because I was trying to be a faithful witness. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be faithful. And so, long story short is, she ended up coming down with getting very ill, terminal illness, very ill. And I'm just sharing her story. This is just one story. I can tell you many stories of trauma that was from myself to my children that we experienced as a result of being around those people.
Right.
And you reminded me of that. It's like that it's almost like karmic attachments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can literally feel it within families,
Yeah.
especially when you're in big, like, family gatherings. You're like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, once I woke up, and this was the weirdest thing, I went to my first holiday with cousins and everything that I grew up with. And it was like everything. They're starting to heal themselves.
Yeah.
Everything had come up, and it was a hot mess, but I realized what was going on.
You did. See, I did.
I
I'm
mean,
trying to figure it out.
yeah, no, they started. I mean, my cousins I grew up with daddy issues coming out, crying, screaming, hollering, sexual abuse, physical abuse, all this stuff that was happening that I did not know about. And we lived within the same area. Like I was in the country in one house, and then they lived like on the same area because I literally grew up with my aunts, two aunts, cousins, and my paternal grandparents. So we had 40 acres. My grandfather had like 101 acres, I think. And on my grandfather's property is where my aunts and all that lived. But a lot of stuff went on that I did not know about until that gathering we had. And everything came out. There was crying, there was screaming, there was this, there was that. And I was just there calmly taking it in.
Observing it, right.
Right. But then what was coming out, I realized this is what needs to happen. It's
Exactly.
stopping with us in this generation. All of
Exactly.
it. And
Exactly.
you can see it because the way they're raising their children is completely different than how we were raised.
Yeah, I see that happening too with my ex's family. I see them, yeah. I don't know. They're still very stuck, like you said, under the spell, more or less. I can say that because my children till this day, still have issues dealing with their father, when it comes to religion. He will not discuss religion with them. My daughter is specific. She's awakening, and they tried to get her to come to the hall many times, and she told them no. She tried, but it just freaked her out. Then, even my daughter's son, my grandson, he was freaked out about it. He couldn't deal with it. He asked them why don't they talk about dinosaurs in the Bible? And that freaked them out. They didn't want to, whoever that he was studying with. He was just asking
Normal
logical questions.
Right.
And they were freaked out about some of the questions because they're trained, I guess, programmed, like you said, not to be questioned like that, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't ask those questions. So they're afraid then naturally to even try to give
Yeah,
you
because basically if you see something, yeah, if they see something that could even trigger to break that connection, right? Mentally.
yeah.
Because remember, they're under control mentally, but they still have power. It's not that they're completely powerless if they break that fear cycle. So all it takes is for them to break a little bit of the fear cycle, to look outside jw.org, and that can be enough to break that, to wake them up, to snap them out of their senses, and
I
send
did.
those energies running to another vessel.
I did. I stood up to them, and they didn't expect it from me because, I was just this humble, humble witness, basically, just wanted to raise my family and be a good wife and a good, witness.
Mhm.
And so when I decided to just love myself, because I was clearly a rug in that organization. I just and when it came to my family, now don't get me wrong, there were some really sweet, wonderful people that
Yeah.
I had been engaged with. There were some that, in terms of their just who they were as people, they were decent people, who treated me, kind.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it was the trauma that I was experiencing through in particular, my ex's family. And they clearly had some issues because, like I said, like you, all the stuff comes out, even having to deal with like sexual abuse,
Mhm.
molestation, and those things, all that came out, as a result of being in a so-called religion.
Right.
Yeah.
That was taking me out back then. See, I was in, like I said, in the early 70s, 80s, up till till I left in 1990. So yeah, it wasn't a good experience for me from that perspective. I had some terrible experiences being in that, until a point that I had to say enough is enough. I'm going.
Mhm.
I'm out.
Mhm.
I am out. And one of the elders approached me after I had left and had been out for a while. He saw me and decided to call me over to his car. And he said something to me that was, I guess, supposed to frighten me and make me feel some kind of way and come back, want to come back.
Instill fear in you again.
And I think I instilled fear in him, because I told him the way he said it, the way he talked to me, it was like almost disrespectful. And I looked at him and I said, I don't know who you think you're talking to.
Thank you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't know who
Thank
you think
you.
you're talking to. But
Mhm.
and he clearly probably didn't expect
Didn't
that from
expect
me.
it. Nope.
But by that point, I just taken learned was in learning to love me and
Mhm.
getting to know me, who I really
Yes.
was.
And
Mm.
that's important. And even what you did just there, like I was speaking about earlier, is healthy boundaries. It's
Mhm.
not that you're not offering love to these people, but you have to know when to love yourself, to not let people cross your boundaries. That's love and respect for yourself. So you can love people, but don't let them disrespect you. You're
Exactly.
worth more than them.
Exactly.
And you set the standard for how others are going to treat you. If you let them
Exactly.
treat you any type of way, believe me, they will.
And they did. And
Yeah.
that's why, eventually I stood up for me, and it feels very good. It feels very good. And like and maybe like you guys, I have empathy. I feel for some of these, you know, children and folks who are still under this control and these and yeah. So my thing is now knowing that we're going to need a tribe to help these awakening, witnesses as they're awakening, right? Because I know
Mhm.
I am expanding and elevating, but it's a lot for me I'm still learning, you know what I
Right.
mean? And I've
Absolutely.
got many. So coming together like this was beautiful. I really appreciate you.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
you too.
Yeah,
Everyone who actually has the courage to come out here and be authentic and speak their voice and not care who thinks what, that's what we need because you were not put here to blend in with everyone around you. You were not.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's like who needs to connect to you will connect to you. And those
Exactly.
who won't will not.
Exactly. Yep.
And even the ones who
Letting that
don't,
light shine.
once again, wish them well. You can love them from a distance if they want to cross boundaries and disrespect you. You have that right, like I said. You can still love them, but it's like you need to stay over there because you don't know how to act or respect me.
I
And
love
I'm
that.
over here acting in love. And if you want to approach me and be in my circle, you need to be in the same vibration. Otherwise,
Exactly.
no, I
Exactly.
can't. Because
Exactly.
all they're going to do is try and pull you down to their low vibration. And I'm not
Yeah.
here for that. Got a
No,
job
Exactly.
to do.
Right. Right.
we're here to vibrate that high love vibration. We're
Yeah.
holding that light. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Keep
Keep
it
it up.
up. Yes.
Keep it up.
Because what you also do, a lot of ones who are here, is you transmute that negative energy that they send to you. We can take it, transform it, and put it out as light.
Alchemist. Yes,
Yes,
we are.
that's exactly it.
Love it.
So even the trauma and these things that, for instance, people tell me, I feel it. I cry for these people. But what I do is I take their pain and I turn it into love. And it's hard to explain, but that's the process that I go through. When I feel what they feel, I cry what they cry. I very rarely cry for my own whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It is for others.
Yes.
When I cry,
Mm-hmm.
it's for gratitude and joy. I cry for that. Not
Yes.
because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so sad, woe is me. No.
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 When I think about how grateful I am
Yeah.
that so far I've succeeded, because there was a chance that I wouldn't have had the courage. I would have been so tied to these people I thought were my family
Yeah.
that I would have never succeeded.
I
And that
know.
was the chance I took when I said, I'm coming down here. Yes, you can put me with the other team. The only thing they can't do is kill me.
Exactly. Because we are eternal beings. We can't die. You can't kill God.
Right?
Okay.
It's true.
This is true.
It's like you're just gonna deport me from Earth for a little bit, but that's not gonna stop me or kill me or whatever. And
Absolutely.
at
We're
this
like the
point,
Energizer Bunny. We just keep coming back.
exactly, till I don't do it anymore, which I'm not. I'm not do. This is not home for me.
Yeah.
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 This
That's
is the
gonna be some
final. What do you call it? The final.
frontier.
This is some kind of weird Club Med thing. You know, we came here to experience. We're roughing it. It's off grid or something experience.
Right. Well, it's that's I often think, and I'm like, well, there's something wonderful and amazing in store for us. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's absolutely wonderful. And so yeah, we have to keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You do. But remember, your thoughts create your reality. So even now, with all the craziness going on around us, you can be in your own paradise. Really.
Absolutely. And that's
Manifest, manifest, manifest the world that we
absolutely.
want to live in.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And just constantly being and living in that vision,
Yeah.
just
Like it's
creating
already
it,
happening.
feeling it, smelling it, being it,
Mhm.
just so
Because
yeah.
yeah, people aren't going to see things and feel things the way you do when you're vibrating high. Even the same sunrise and sunset to someone who's low vibrational does not look the same.
Yeah.
It is vibrant and beautiful to you.
Yeah.
And you can literally tell a person who's low vibrational, look at the sunset. And they're like, oh, yeah,
Okay.
the sunset. It's nice, I guess. And
Yeah.
you're like, are we not
Yes.
looking at the same thing?
Are you? I'm like, do you see that? Do you see
Yeah.
that? They're like, see
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Even the
what?
sun, I look
they're
at the
thinking,
sun and
I'm
I see
crazy,
different things that it's doing and whatnot.
Mhm.
And another person won't even see it. They will not see it at all.
Yeah.
Even when because the sun is an actual conscious energy as well. And when he's happy, he does certain things. And I notice, and I'm like, look at you today.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm
yes.
like,
And I've been
okay.
seeing these crystal. It's like a rainbow. Is what I see.
Yeah.
The sun is like right here, and then over, maybe like at the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock position.
Yep.
Away from the sun, I see a rainbow, but it's not like the arched rainbow.
No.
It's like this. It's straight up and down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? And I'm showing people, what is that? And they're like, we don't see it. But I'm seeing it. And I actually videotaped it. I got it on camera, and you pointed it out. Infinite Light. You said, what did you say? Barbello?
Oh, the
said,
rainbow around the sun. But
yes.
it's not, it's like basically there's two sides to it. And then sometimes it's up and down as well, but it still creates like a uh, I don't know how to explain the shape, but yeah, basically, I was saying that you see it because
That's
you, this basically
Mhm.
is what allows you to see it so vividly.
Mhm.
And that's
Mhm.
because of
wow.
where you came from and who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I can say, no, you're not a hybrid, Miss Earthling
So,
Goddess.
but how do we know where we're from? Because I feel that too. I feel like I love the earth. I think it's beautiful and all that, but I don't feel connected, truly
Exactly.
connected here.
Now I do. I
Yeah,
feel like I'm an earth angel. Like I'm supposed to be here. Like I
right.
even want to. I want to continue to help out here. Like I want to be here. Yeah.
Because some are not staying here, they're going back home finally. Because like I
Exactly.
said, this is the final.
And I yeah. So I understand the two of you. Like you could easily be some cool crazy galactic being or something like that, right?
I'm very crazy.
I think I'm crazier than you, girl.
Crazy in love.
Right, 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 right.
Wow.
But
Wow.
but I know whatever it is that y'all both are badasses. Whatever it is, you're just like really
Yes, I am peace.
peace,
Just
peace.
because I'm peaceful doesn't mean I'm not skilled at war.
Exactly,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
exactly.
I kind of feel I have this, like you were speaking that you were much bigger at some time and you're a lot smaller now. I think I was bigger too. And I actually saw a something something in here, and it was about, I want to say at least 8 feet tall, broad shoulders. It had a mask on, and was holding like a staff or something. And I just had this feeling that someone or something was watching me. I couldn't explain it. And I turned around and I saw this thing. And at first it startled me, but then it was like an instant calm. Just an instant calm just came. And I looked at it, and it didn't say anything. It didn't move. It just stood there. And I just said, I see you. And when I said, I see you, it was like a hologram. You know, in Star Wars, it just goes, it was gone. What was that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But I was not afraid at all.
No,
At
you
all.
shouldn't be afraid.
Yeah. Actually,
But I
I
don't know
call
what
it I
it
called him
was.
Anunnaki dude. I didn't know what else to call him. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah,
And
I
I just
don't.
said, okay, Anunnaki dude, come on back. Let's have some coffee. Not afraid at all.
That's what I'm like. I'm like, could y'all please pull up in the physical for me because I miss y'all. I know that
Yes. Yes. Yes,
and
send
it's
my
like,
shipment
no,
directly from
we
my
can't.
dead bed.
We can't do that. The situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Right,
Yes.
right, right.
Yeah, and here we are talking about spaceships and Anunnaki people and stuff. Can you imagine us having this conversation with some folks in the Kingdom Hall?
No.
It is
They
Not
what
would
it is,
probably
but
call the
they have
police to
the
come and
proof, even with
exercise
the
us.
statues and the carvings of the Anunnaki with things that look like purses and they have the wrist things and then almost all of that has, purposes.
Yes, there's something to it. I don't fully understand it, but I
Like
think
people
that's
think technology is new. No, babies, no babies. That like there's been technology millions of years ago that would literally blow your mind. And where's
absolutely.
my crystals? With crystals, you can do so much. Oh my
I was
goodness. You want
telling
to talk about clean energy and just let me stop. I can't even.
well, I can't wait. I want to hear more
I'd
later.
love.
The
I
next
can't.
video.
I have so many questions and so much stuff, so many different topics because Monica is in all the different rabbit holes. I'm in search for the truth. And so I have a lot of
It's
questions
like
about
people
all,
had
like the crystals
spaceships
and
and
all
you
of that.
had all these things that called your particular spaceship to you, And it's like, even when you wanted to jump different places, all you had to do was dial, and you're like, okay, where am I going to be at what point?
Wow.
Okay, I got to catch that portal. All right, peace, I'm out.
That's
See ya.
that's so cool.
Now that
And it's
makes
like you have
perfect
to have the
sense to me.
certain
yeah.
things in order for you to have access to those portals. Not everybody can go wherever they want.
Right.
So they acted as your key, kind of like, I don't know if you know, like the electronic doggy doors, where the dog has to have the particular code or frequency on their tag to enter that dog door.
Wow.
Wow.
No, I
That
never
type
heard
of
of that.
thing. So I probably shouldn't even be talking about.
No, that's cool. I
No,
love
I
it.
love that.
I mean,
I'm
I'm,
so
I mean,
into that
I mean,
stuff.
I'm
loving
always
that.
hanging. Well,
No, I'm
question.
not saying for you guys. I'm saying just in case someone else is watching. There's certain things I really shouldn't talk about because there's other people who want to know information as well. Like
Oh,
they have things, historical things, and they don't know how they work, what they were used for, this, that, and the other thing. And
So
it's like,
we can talk off camera.
yeah,
But I heard a brother last night talking, and he said that he came back here for
but
he's
nothing is secret.
yeah, exactly. And these
That's why I
especially
don't
now.
even talk on camera or cell phones. I watch what I say, because it's all being monitored.
Yeah.
So I say what I'm comfortable of saying, even with technology and stuff and how certain things work. Like you can't introduce certain things to humanity when they're not in a spiritually enlightened state because they'll use it to destroy each other.
Yes.
They don't use it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we've got so much
so many
between Monica
questions.
and I.
I want to talk to you about the Barbello again and crystals. Like when you showed your what do you call it? The pentagram, I think that you called it. What do you the Star of David? Is it the Star of David?
The pentacle?
You showed something that normally was associated with witchcraft. It was kind of like a star. Let me show you mine. I'll be right back.
I
So
have
saw
it. You
that,
want
I
to
was
see
like,
my altar?
Oh, you got an altar?
Yes.
Okay. I know I got to do that too.
Let me see. I have to get up.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
And it's
that's what it
natural.
was.
It comes, everything's built in. Like for me, I didn't have to do research. Everything was there already.
See, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Hang on. I'm going to bring my computer.
Yeah.
There's my son, Daddy.
Oh,
Oh, I like that.
So, whoa. Okay, hang on. There we go. There's mine.
Oh,
Can you see it?
nice.
Okay.
Wait, I can bring it closer. I think. Yeah. So it's decorated for Christmas.
Okay.
So we have the feathers, we have the pentacle, the cross, we have the candles, and all of the crystals.
Nice.
You got all the crystals, huh?
And then I
Very
have the
nice.
incense thing when I do burn it, and then I have the salt lamp for purification.
Yes.
And then I
mine
have
as a night light.
for our ocean family the shell,
Mm-hmm.
because there's actually that's another story too. As far as ocean
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
mermaids, all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've kept you on here a whole 2 hours, Miss Infinite.
I know.
Thank you. We so appreciate you popping in
But
and
yeah, the
sharing your
pentacle
wisdom
stands
and
for
knowledge
Venus.
and your
Venus
love.
is elements as well. So there's, but I can tell you the satanic one, basically what they did is they flipped the stars so that the 2 points are up like a goat.
Ah.
So when it's up with just the one, that's the true star.
Okay. Like this one?
Yep. So if you
So I
flip
need to
it,
get me
that's the other
a little
symbol.
cross to put right there, though, right? I need to get my
Yeah,
little cross for in
because the
there.
cross basically, so the symbol I showed you with the star and then the cross in the center, that's
Yes.
your feminine and your masculine in the middle,
Yes. Yes. So the feminine
as well
is
as the triangles above my head. You have um the
okay.
and once
Wow.
they're together, they create like this crystallic shape. If you know crystals, um, they have like, depending on what type they are, they have different structures.
Right, a hexagon or octagon or something,
Yeah.
the different shapes.
So it's all connected and you can't see it, but even between what you can see, there's also more lines up close.
Okay, I see
So
that.
it's ancient geometry. If you see it in person, you'll understand.
Do you have the flower of life also?
The flower of life.
Yeah.
I don't have it here, no, but I know
Okay.
what it is.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen some people have that.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
You've
we
got a lot of stuff.
absolutely,
Mhm.
I
But
absolutely.
for
gotta get.
me, my altar is basically, because the thing about that is it gives everyone, my family, as I call them, all of my children, my ancestors, everything, respect and honor. Because if you even think about it, the vessel that you're in right now is compliments of your ancestors who went through so much to make sure that you made it here for your mission,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
they were good or bad. I thank them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly. It's just up to me to design it from myself then how I want it, what I want on it. Like everybody does something different pretty much.
Because it's going to mean something to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I do is I meditate in front of that. I'll either light the candles or turn the salt lamp on,
Hmm.
and then I have like a bean cushion thing that I put on the ground, and I'll play meditation music, whatever I'm feeling at the time,
Hmm.
and I meditate. And for me, I'm not trying to go outside of, whatever. It's really an organizational process with me, because I'm always connected, and what I have to do is literally unconnect. That's the time I do it, when I meditate, because I need just me there, no one else in my face. Um, that's the best way I can describe it, because I'm always communicating with many outside beings.
Wow.
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 And yeah, it's tiring. It's like exhausting. It really is. Because
Wow.
even when you're sleeping, someone will need something, and you'll wake up at 3 in the morning, like, okay, yes. And it's like, sometimes I have to write stuff down. Sometimes it's something to think about, because this whole situation is not that simple at all.
Yeah.
You have various ones who are telling me their side of things, believe it or not.
Your ancestors?
Not just ancestors, different species
Okay.
who got involved with the situation on Earth.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
because like, it's not as simple, because you have the ones who do feel that, no, I one shouldn't have helped the humans,
Okay.
shouldn't
Okay.
have interfered.
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow. So is this a part of your mission here to be able to answer those questions?
And see what the best resolution is, what the most peaceful resolution is for everyone.
Okay.
You even have ones that I call the grays, that basically are caught in the middle, but they're not for either side at this point.
Yeah.
Now, are there two different types of grays? Because in my research, I'm finding that there's the little short grays. I'm understanding that they are some type of AI, the little short grays, but there's a taller gray, but they have like a grayish and greenish tinge to their skin, and they're called the Ajiji. Have you heard of that?
No,
You haven't. Okay.
but there are tall and short ones. Just for me, um, it's like they're caught, so they kind of go wherever they feel who the winner's gonna be.
Ah,
Just to
okay.
save themselves, basically.
Okay. We're gonna choose the winning team.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like at this point, as I said, not doing this again. So everything has to be right, and I can't sit here and just
I
being
got
honest.
you.
I
I
can't
got
sit
you.
here
I got you. Totally got you.
Yeah.
Totally. We appreciate you.
and be on the fence and whatever. It's like, no, y'all have to either be for love and peace or not. I'm not doing it.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Because
time.
that's
And
why
you got it.
it was allowed to go on this long, because I have looked at I'll say we have looked at every possible solution that makes sense. So if you have a house and you said, okay, flies, we're going to try and live peacefully together, because I see no need to kill you just for being here. So the flies decide to get into your food all the time. They reproduce at rates that are ridiculous. And so you actually have to make the decision of what to do with the flies. So you open the doors. You say, you know what? I don't want to kill you, but you can't stay in my house.
Well, I've had
So
that
here's the
conversation
door.
with the ones in here.
Find somewhere else to go. I'm giving you a chance. Go. They refuse to go. You even try and give them a push out and say, you know what? It's beautiful. It's summer. There's plenty of places for you to go. They refuse to go. They keep multiplying. They're landing on food. They're decomposing it. They're making it rot. Nothing is clean. They're ruining your environment in your home that you live in. They have no desire to do anything but stay in your home and literally use the resources up. So what makes sense after you have literally gave them every possible option?
Fly swatter time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Raid. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. You know, I never thought about it that way, but
That's a great analogy. I love it.
absolutely.
And sometimes the house is ruined when pests get involved, you know? And what you have to do is get the tenants of that house out temporarily, bring in pest control to totally wipe out all the pests before you can bring the tenants back.
I love that analogy. Wow.
And
Yes.
sometimes the house itself is so destroyed by the pests, whether it's rats, mice, termites, that you have to actually redo the house itself before you move the tenants back in.
Absolutely. Might have
Those
to
are the
take the
options
whole
for
thing
looking
down.
at. Look at the earth. Do you see the factories? Do you see roads and skyscrapers and all this? Is it beautiful to you?
Power lines
Can
literally
you drink from the
everywhere.
water supply? Is it poison?
Chemicals in the water, chemicals in the air.
This is
Yeah.
Trees are
reality. This is
dying.
stuff we really have to think about before making the final decision.
Wow.
It's a lot.
And if the residents or the tenants have no desire to even help,
Wow.
then here's the thing. You have to say at a certain point, we're the ones who said not to help these so-called pests that they said in their eyes could get out of control. Were they right?
I don't know. Is that considered unconditional, not unconditional love?
Exactly. Not the problem. But then when you look at what's ethical universally,
As far as universal law,
exactly.
yeah. What is
But at
that?
the same time, you can't have this continue to go on.
Right.
There's too much because they're crossing the line ethically as well. So that's the other argument. Well, unconditional love, you would just put up with it. You would just put up with it. And we have. But you're using unconditional love in a way that infringes on other people's right to love, free will, and living peacefully.
Yeah.
So, unconditional love or not, you're not, as the pest, giving unconditional love.
That's the point. That part.
Yes.
So,
That part.
we can't even connect with that. You have removed yourself from the divine family. And that is one of the hardest things to accept as someone who is loved, is that you, even though, yeah, because
Yeah.
many of these beings were not made from love. They were experiments. They
Yes.
don't have that in. And as much as you hope and wish that that's going to happen, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't have the ones that are trying to live by love being constantly attacked by these ones who could care less. Because that's not fair to those ones.
It's not. It's not fair.
No.
And they have a chance to change just like anyone else, right?
Right. But they just want to, like, they have the chance to change and they choose time after time after time. And I'm talking about even lifetime to do the same thing,
Yeah. Now, see, lifetimes, that's something else. You know what I mean? If
to
it's just
take advantage of other people,
yeah,
period.
yeah.
They
Big
just
Mama,
guess
like you
that
said,
they were created that way. So,
Wow.
you get so many tries, right? You get so many chances, and then it's
and you have to understand, a mother, as much as she loves a child, if that child puts the other children in jeopardy constantly, repeatedly, you have to do what you have to do, even though it may be hard, for the well-being of your other children.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's unfair for them to suffer because of the one who refuses to do right. And
Absolutely.
another thing is we can't keep focusing attention on the problem child at the expense of all the ones that are doing right. And that's in the universe as well. The planet, the galaxy. You have one problem, one that all the energy is going into at the expense of all the ones who are vibrating high.
yeah, yeah.
So that is the bigger picture. It's not just cut and dry.
So above, so below.
Right.
Wow.
So, but I just I just keeping the vibrations high and
That's
spreading that love
it.
and light.
Right.
And
Because most beings don't have anything to be afraid of, no matter what is ultimately decided. The only problem they will have is number one, getting out of fear. And number two, let's just say if you bring motherships to take all the ones who vibrate high off of the planet while it's cleansed, will they get on those ships? Or will they still have these weird things that the media has basically portrayed aliens to be? Is these hostile things that are taking over and gonna, like, do weird things.
right.
Because, let's get it straight. Humans don't even get along with each other when they look too different from each other. So what are they gonna do when
Wow.
beings of peace want to just help you, but they don't look like you?
Well, I mean, I see. I read. I've been reading all the time, like the Pleiades and the yeah, mainly the Pleiades are here now, setting up. They've got med beds and things like that. Have you heard anything like that?
Pleiadians.
Oh boy, did I say it?
Yeah.
I just, I'm just learning about the different,
Some of them is what I would consider grays because, yeah.
So you
really.
consider the Greys Palladians?
Okay.
Because many of them actually helped with the human experiment, with the rebel, basically, I'll call them that.
Oh, they did help with the rebel? Okay.
And see, I've heard both sides. I've heard that the Palladians are good, but I've also heard the Palladians are bad. How do we discern?
Basically, by their fruits at this point.
Bingo.
And that's why, like, a long time ago, I think, I said at this point, because energies can take over different forms, shapeshift, if you will, you literally cannot tell who is who.
Yeah.
And that's
It
by
kind of
design
reminds
as
me of
well,
that
because if
movie
you
They
could just
Live.
look at someone and tell exactly who and what they were, it would be easy.
Exactly. Exactly. Now once the scales falls completely from everyone's eyes, we'll probably be able to see really who's who on the
Yeah.
like on the news channel. Remember that movie They Live? All of a sudden, the people that are on TV that you've watched for years and years and years, and now you put on a pair of glasses and you see who they really are. When you take the glasses off, it's back to normal humans. You put the glasses back on, you're seeing reptilians or something, and they're all around us.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
say from what star team you're on, or you can't?
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know where I come from. I know I come from somewhere. I've had someone tell me that some guy named, he claimed that he was Anu. He says he is Anu reincarnated, and he told me that I was one of his 144. I'm like, okay, one of the 144, and he said that I was a hybrid of Anunnaki and Emu. I said, like that big bird? He said, no. And he said, no, it was EMMO, and they were called the big headed scientist. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a hybrid and I got to be an Anunnaki with a big head. Okay, thanks.
With the big head.
With a big head. I do have a big head though.
No.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't either.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just real
But
curious
even
to
with
see what
them, like
everything
there's
is.
a lot of them out there who you have to be careful. Some are here. They really are here. I ran into them. I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, and they run. They're one of those where it's like, you, boom. It's like,
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's one that's Solomon here. Ones that think they're Jesus and
Yeah.
whatnot. And I'm like, no, you're not.
No.
Um, but yeah, the thing is that you can tell by what they say exactly. And for me, I can feel that their energy,
Mm-hmm.
each species and person, and they literally have a signature vibration and frequency. So that's how I can tell. So that's the best way
Okay.
I can explain it.
Yeah.
Because when you don't have a physical body, right, that's
Mhm.
the way you know each other.
Yeah.
Well, there was a brother showing a video last night of a he swears that he's tracked down what's his name, Inky?
He's tracked down who?
Inky. So you've got Ink and Lil Inky. I knew all of that. So apparently Inky is here in an avatar called it's a YouTube channel actually. He's an avatar goes by the name of King Yahweh.
Yeah, I've never heard of Kenya. Wait, yeah, no. You'll have to send me a link or something
Okay.
so I
I
could
would
check.
love to, yeah, show you. But he's got all this $1 million of gold and he's got his whole group walking with him and all of that.
Hmm.
Okay, that's a red flag for me.
Yeah.
To
And the
be
group,
decked out in gold and stuff.
yeah. Which is what the brother was saying on the video. He was like, where you get all that gold from? He
Really?
had a lot of gold on.
And there's something about the gold. There's something about that. Like in Genesis, when I was reading in Genesis, I decided I was going to read the whole Bible cover to cover. And when I got to the point where it says, and the gold was good in the Garden of Eden. Wait a minute, either the Garden of Eden was somewhere, but what was the significance of them putting that in the Bible? The gold was good at this particular location. What is the significance of the gold? You know the scripture I'm talking about?
Um, in Genesis,
It's in Genesis. And it speaks about they
no,
were looking at this land and the gold was good. They spoke about other gems and opal and different gems, but I specifically honed in on gold. Why was it so important for them to put in the Bible the gold was good?
okay. I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I started doing research about the Anunnaki and how they were sent down here to look for gold to plug the hole in their atmosphere on Nibiru. So when I started looking at the Sumerian text, all that history, and it tells a story about the Anunnaki coming to Earth to terraform the Earth, and also they were searching for gold to plug the hole in their system, and they needed like the monocot. What do you call it? The mono is like gold dust that they needed. And that's what the Ajiji were supposed to be doing. They brought them here to start digging, to mine for them. Have you heard any of this stuff at all?
Iggy.
The Ajiji is what they were called. And the Ajiji were supposed to be a genetically modified being made by the Anunnaki, by Enki, who was the master geneticist.
Right.
Yeah. And he
Yeah.
made these beings to work,
Mhm.
to work the mines, to mine the gold, to take back to Nibiru. And they rebelled and they had to get rid of them. Enlil decided we need to get rid of these fools. So they had a war and they got rid of them, and then they got rid of the Ajiji, most of them, but then they had no workers. And according to the Sumerian text, that's when Enki was commissioned to make another type slave being.
Mhm.
And supposedly in this story, he had inserted his own DNA into this being, and that was supposed to be the beings that they made, I guess what they call human, when they said, let's make man in our image.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is true, some's not, because obviously it gets translated and put onto the text and people can't accurately know it, but Enki and Enlil and all that, it's like a hot mess.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and you know, all the rabbit holes that I've been
Enki
through,
Enki
it
freaking
takes me
fell in
back
love with
to
one
that.
of the mortals, and
Yeah, what is that?
then
I
his
just can't shake
sister
the
with
feeling that
it,
there's
but that's
something there,
normal
but I
because
don't
the
know.
thing is with the energies is you, in order for you to create a pure being, you have to have like a relative, a literal, like, because there's not many of you. So your brother is your companion. I don't say husband, but that's what people can identify it as.
Mm-hmm.
And your daughter is your companion, because the blend of you coming together creates different life forms and worlds.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you
all
can see the link. I put a link in the comments in the chat rather.
You put it in private. Bring it
Okay.
back
Can
again.
you I was going to say, yeah, what I'll do is
I'll copy it.
yeah.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well,
Yeah.
So
again, this
even
is
all those, if you look at these Greek gods, Roman, all of these, and you look at the stories behind it, and all of those things, they're myth, but there is some truth to it with enhancements, obviously, to make it entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
But just like I was saying, you have even in Greek mythology, Egyptian, um, all of these gods who,
Yes.
if you notice, you will have this creator or the mother who had a son who was
Yes.
also her companion, who created with them to have these children and offspring, who then had other ones. And then they had different ones because this cheated and did this. And yeah,
That's what's happening.
yeah. Now these are the creators. Okay. So if you, at the very heart of things, you have basically two very powerful creators, one being Source, because Source in her full form obviously cannot be physical. So there's a breakdown that happens and a transference in order for Source to experience through these avatars, basically. So that's why things are such a mess. And if you do all these breakdowns, you have all of these ones running all over who continually do whatever. And then you go to stasis to regenerate your various planet, which is your energy hub, if you want to call it, it's your battery. So you're like, okay, I'm going to be in stasis and regenerate and repower until this system aligns with this. And then, yes, I know I have to do this again because it's this time period. But it's organized. But it's a mess. So basically, a lot of this came from these powerful couples that can't get it right. I mean, Prince, I don't know if you Ever listened to the song "The Greatest Romance That's Ever Been Sold"?
I
No.
probably heard it.
He was one of them that was woke and a prophet, but that's all of them who are like that literally get, taken out.
Yeah.
And they want to say it was a drug overdose. It was just no, they're taken out because they know too much.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
notice, he died as a Jehovah's Witness. He switched sides.
Who?
Prince.
Prince. He
That's
died
right,
as-
because he
I-
wrote that book, right? He wrote
And
that
once
book,
he was a
Christ.
Jehovah's Witness, it didn't take long for him to be the sacrifice. Another one.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's a book out called Christ. What is it called? The book he wrote? One of those guys wrote a book. That's
You
so
talk about Ray Franz?
Christ, something conscious or
Crisis of
something.
Consciousness, Ray
Crisis-
Franz.
Crisis, the Ray France.
Yeah.
Crisis of Conscious or something like why can't I
So
now that I need the title, I can't think of it.
right. So he apparently, so is he the one that you said turned around? Who was it that turned around? Friends?
Mhm.
No, I think you were talking about Prince, weren't you?
Prince.
Oh, you're
Prince.
talking about the singer, the music, Prince.
Prince. Yeah. Yeah. Ray Franz did the book about Crisis of Consciousness.
Yeah, the song is called
And-
The Greatest Romance That's Ever Been Sold. And basically he talks about, what's the real reason that Adam never left Eve
Hmm.
or the
real
feminine energy.
I don't know.
And then he talks about basically him being a masculine surrendering to the feminine in the
Wow.
song,
Wow.
Really?
because that basically is what's going to bring about, balance to the universe,
This
Yes.
is true. Yes.
which is what
Absolutely.
that's about. When you have the balance of the two energies, everything operates beautifully.
Yes. Yes.
And
Balance is the
it's
key.
not that, yes, of course, feminine energies are life leader. You're not dominating the man because once again, that masculine and feminine comes from their own source of energy.
Exactly.
It's part of them. You don't,
Exactly.
when you have the right mindset about life and beings in general, you realize it's part of you and you treat them as such.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got so many questions, and I would, we just got a plan to get together,
Is this like the longest one you've ever done?
Yes. Yes. So we would love to have you back because we have taken so much of your time already. We so appreciate you popping in.
Well, I had it
But we'd
tonight.
love to
Usually I
have
don't
you
have
on
the
again.
time. So once I got the notification, I'm like, oh, I'm in my pajamas already, but it's okay.
That's
Beautiful
wonderful.
as
That's
always.
wonderful. It was meant to be. It was meant to
Yeah.
be, and I'm
But
so
eventually I would love to have lunch or coffee or something with you guys.
yeah. Where are you located? In what state?
I'm in Western New York.
So you're in
Okay.
New York. Okay. Yeah. I'm in Oklahoma, actually, Tulsa. So
And I'm
Tulsa?
I'm at Little House on the Prairie. and
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma,
And I'm in Missouri.
Missouri girl.
Well, Missouri and Tulsa is
Not too bad.
not too bad.
Not too far. Not too far. Actually, again, I told you I live on it's a 500-acre land trust in the middle of the forest, and I have a tiny house here, and my goal is to have a self-sustainable homestead, but I also want to have an intentional community here of like-minded people, especially that feminine energy, women who are healing, just just a place where they can come and regenerate and connect with mother, connect with the earth, with like-minded folks, and just into crystals and meditation and just loving each other the way we need to be loved, you know?
Right.
Say hi. Say
Hi,
hi.
darling. Hi, pretty girl.
This is
How
my
are
granddaughter,
you?
Anaya.
Anaya, it's so nice to meet you.
She's
You're beautiful.
She said she's from the cosmos. She's from the she's already knows.
She's a little indigo baby.
Yes.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So what were you saying?
No, it's fine. Like it's we were just talking about,
Yeah.
the dream.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But I would
Absolutely.
love to like you do, Monica. That's my
Absolutely.
goal. But
Yeah.
I think I would like it too much because I'm used to being alone. And if
Okay.
I'm alone too much, I'm like,
Yeah. We all
I'm
need.
social too, but I
Yeah.
do not mind being alone at all.
Yeah.
And
And
I would love
I'm the
to
same
live.
way. I like being alone,
Yeah,
but when I am with people, it's so much easier to be with like-minded folk,
Mhm.
because we go out there in the world and we're absorbing all these different energies and all of that. And it's just nice. It would be nice to be surrounded with other, how do you put this? Other light beings,
Like
who are
mine.
like-minded, and we sort of resonate off of each other.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to doing that with you.
I know. Miss C Love is joining me out here.
Cool.
She's going to join
Yeah.
her. She's going
That's
to join
good.
me out here.
Yeah, we're already looking at it's so much information out here, but tribes, forming some tribes, some sisterhoods, and just that support system,
Yeah,
you know.
because that actually is important to heal the feminine energies at this point,
Yes.
Exactly.
so they can take on the roles they were always meant to do. And once they are healed,
Yeah.
they can love and also bring up the masculine
Yes.
because they have to be strong. Because as much as the feminines have been oppressed and everything, the masculines have been in a role that they are not meant to be in as well.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah. So they got to be healed too, right?
Yes, very much so. I mean, women are strong and resilient because they're built that way. The man, I can't say man because it's their energies. And that's why, once again, even with homosexuality, people don't get it. Like, everyone has been put in different vessels, it's a physical thing. The energy inside cannot be changed. That's what people don't get. That's why instead of judging, if you don't understand the process behind how people got in different avatars, you can't judge.
Just can't. Mm-mm.
But anyway, yes, they have to be healed. And it's very difficult because they've been put in roles where they've been conditioned what a masculine energy needs to be, which isn't even right. Just like how they've dictated what love is when it isn't, society has dictated what masculinity is and femininity when it isn't. So it's very hard for them to tap into their feminine energy that they have because they feel like I'm being weak, I'm this, I'm that. It's the hardest thing to work with, really.
Yeah.
And it's like you're tapping into that nurturing, loving, caring energy. It's not weakness.
And that's where that balance is going to come in. That's going to really help with the balance.
Right. And feminines as well, like we have that energy, but we can be protectors, just like they said that's what masculine's main role is. But feminines can be the protectors as well. All you have to do is touch your children and feed them bad, you'll see the masculine come up.
Bingo.
Okay. Okay.
Bingo.
That part.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Bingo.
right.
Yeah. Wow. My love, thank you so much.
Oh, you are welcome. It
Miss
was my
Infinite Light,
pleasure.
thank
This
you.
was
Thank
so
you.
much
So much.
fun.
Thank you.
Hopefully
Yeah.
things weren't too strange, but we're in good company, right?
No, I
Yes,
want
I love
to.
it.
I would love to
Yes,
get your
sir.
number or email address so we can stay in contact because I got questions I want to ask you. You know what I mean? I don't want to ask, talk about it on here, but I do have some questions. You know,
I
Absolutely.
can, yeah, it,
send me. I'll send you my email. Well, you want to send me your? I can send you my email. I don't care. I'm just trying to.
Well, let's give her our email, Big Mama Energy. Let's see. How do you let me type it in?
Okay.
yeah, I can give you my email now. I've put it on in the description of a lot of my videos. I don't
Oh,
mind.
okay.
And then from the email, I'll give you my number.
Okay.
So my email,
I don't know
Okay.
what it is right now. We just set it up. We'll get it done.
She's gonna give me her email address.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Awesome.
it's C
Awesome.
is in cat, C, snow is in the,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on 1 minute. Let me get the note up here. So you said C is in cat.
mhm.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's C snow,
Mhm.
SNOW,
Mhm.
which is my spiritual name, Crystal Snow.
Nice. So C snow,
Yes, all lowercase, and
right?
then 22
22.
77
Mm-hmm.
at
Mm-hmm.
gmail.com.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Cool.
Now, do you you said you don't offer any classes or anything like that, but folks can maybe reach out to you.
Yeah, people can always reach out to me.
Okay.
And I try to make time to answer emails. If I give them my number, text messages, calls, video calls, whatever works. But it depends on my schedule because
Okay.
I'm
And your
my
channel
both
is
of my
it's called
kids still
Infinite
live with
Light.
me. I have pets. I have to take care of the house. I work. I do like all this stuff,
You're
and I
busy.
also travel. I try
Yeah.
to connect with people one on one. So yeah.
Okay.
If I'm
Okay.
supposed to be somewhere at a certain time, a certain date, a location, I'm there. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm literally directed all the time what to do, for what purpose. Just
Yeah.
so
Wow.
even people I'm supposed to connect with, I will. And they will connect with me if it's meant to be. So nothing is
Exactly.
by
We were
chance.
just discussing that the other day. We were
Exactly.
saying if it's meant to be, it will be, and it was.
Right. Nothing's by chance. And it happens when it's supposed to, the right time, everything.
Exactly.
I call it the stars are aligning.
Yeah.
Yes.
The stars
And
are
when
aligning.
when you're literally guided like that and like it makes things easy. Like I don't fight it anymore. I used to. Because I'm like, this can't be real. And then you're blocked, literally blocked. Like if you try and stray, your car won't start. The computer
Really?
won't work.
You're going that way.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
And then I'll get a reminder on my phone to, contact someone that I've been kind of like, I don't want to do it. It's like, you're going to do it. Like, okay.
On your phone?
Yeah. Like
Really?
reminders.
Oh, your reminder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's different things. Even, I'll be doing something all of a sudden beyond a shadow of a strong feeling that comes over me that I cannot ignore, and I just have to go with it, period. There is
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
ignoring it. It
Yeah.
literally screams from every cell in my body that, yes, you
Okay.
have to do this.
And that's the stuff, that's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning that the innates and the intuition.
It's the intuition,
All of
right?
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I'm speaking to you clear as day, you can hear it. Just like you were saying your experience when you were calling out to Jehovah and, you heard something. You can't say it's a voice, but that's the
It
way.
was
It's
a
the
knowing.
telepathic communication.
Mhm.
So even that type of thing. It's, you hear it, and
Yeah,
it can be the weirdest thing.
absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like, buy that. It's like, why? And I'll literally be talking like this in my, like, sometimes even out loud. I'm like, why do I need to get this? And then it's like the answer, I'm like, okay, whatever. And then literally 2 months later, I need that exact thing. And if I had waited, it wouldn't have even been at the store at that time. And it
Mhm.
has a purpose in the purpose. And I'm like, this is really crazy. But I've done this already, so I don't know why I'm acting surprised. This is normal,
Right.
but I embrace it. My poor kids, they're like,
I get that look too. I do.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Absolutely.
everybody that's here in the chat, please go to Miss Infinite Light's channel. Please subscribe to her channel. I promise you, enlightenment, love, and just amazing information touches your soul. So
Yeah.
go in and subscribe to her channel, please.
Yeah.
it's love. There's things on there that may be surprising and challenge what you thought you knew. And once again, I ask you to use common sense. I do not force anything on anyone. But yeah, kind of know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I try and just, you know, I'm trying to be normal, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
We're the new
Absolutely.
normal.
Because it's not to shine light on myself. I'm here to help people. I'm here to wake them up and just free them from the bonds of religion in general, period, and everything
Absolutely.
that has chains on humanity, keeping them enslaved still
Absolutely.
as workers. As we were talking about, that's what these energies want. It's just workers and slaves. I'm here to free them.
Absolutely.
All of us are here to free them. We're
Yes.
working as a collective to free humanity.
Yes.
It's time to wake
So
up.
think what a big job that is. Everyone should be proud and just feel honored to have a part at this time, at this moment, in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a wonderful
speaking
time to
out.
be alive.
Being courageous. All of you are.
Yeah.
Even those listening to this, who see this, don't be afraid to speak out. If you have a platform, you have something to say that you think will help someone else, speak out. Because the other side relies on your silence to keep power and control.
Absolutely.
All right. We can go now. I love you all.
I love you so much.
Peace
As
be
always,
with you.
guys, stay in that high
Peace
love
be with you.
vibration.
Yes.
Peace. How do you say that, Miss C Love? Peace.
What?
You say
Peace, love, and light.
Peace,
Or
love, and light.
Both.
peace, love, and
what you're
light
doing.
always. Of
And your
course.
beautiful energy. Really.
Thank
And
you.
keep your vibrations.
Definitely.
Love you guys so much.
All right, love.
All right. Take care.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
Bye,
This
now.
was
guys. Till
so
next
nice.
time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. And all the guys in the chat, thank you so much for joining us. And normally go in and say hi to
Yes.
everyone, but we tired. We're going to bed. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.